Computer. Hi, everyone. It's Bernadette Wagner with Mindful Monday, Prime Time for Women's weekly event when we check in with a woman who is inspiring us and sharing her life story, because we all know that we are stronger, healthier, and happier together. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome Bev Kornides, who is a physical therapist. Hi, Bev. How are you?
Hi, Bernadette. I'm well. And you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you here today. But today, Bev, it's my pleasure to share and introduce you to Primetime for Women's followers as someone who just completed their 11th JFK 50-mile ultramarathon race. Congratulations. That's a super accomplishment. And I'm really looking forward to hearing a little bit about the training that you went through, but also the highlights and low points of the race itself and the lessons you learned throughout this process, this journey, because I really do think that the lessons that people learn in one part of their life can be applied to many, many other aspects. And I think personally that when women share the lessons they've learned with others, it gives us a chance to see if they work in our lives. Of course, not everything works for everybody, but I think it's an opportunity for us to learn from each other. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Bernadette. It's a pleasure to be here. And
yeah, go ahead.
There's so many other feats that so many people accomplish that mine just seems minuscule. But to me, it was a personal accomplishment. I finished my 11th JFK this year, which is a 50-mile run in Washington County. For those who not sure of where the JFK is held, it starts in Boonesboro, up the Appalachian Trail, down the C&O Canal, and we finish in Williamsport. So it's quite a feat.
Yeah, and the interesting
my 11th one.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this race is it's not a road race. I mean, you're running on trails and, up mountains and down mountains. It's quite arduous. So let me just say that this year was the 57th JFK and your 11th. Bev, I was wondering if you could tell our viewers how old you are now at your 11th and when you did your first JFK.
Sure. I'm 63 now, and I did my first JFK when I was turning 50. So I had done 10 JFKs, and at that point, it was a great rounded number. I became a member of the 500 Club, which means absolutely nothing to no one other than if you are a JFK person. 500 miles, you get a cool sweatshirt. But for me, it was a personal accomplishment that I could do it 10 times. And then I thought, well, I'm going to give it up. I did 10. I'm going to be 60. I think I'll do some other things. So really important to me in my life is fitness. Physical, mental, spiritual fitness. So I practice those every day, or at least try to. And so after 10 JFK finishes, I thought, well, I'm going to swim, I'm going to stretch, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to do some different things, because I felt that my body really needed to change up rather than pounding the pavement all the time. Make a long story short, I did that for 2 years, maintained my fitness. But something was kind of missing. I was missing the physical challenge of really pushing myself beyond mental and physical, what I thought were my capacities. And as a physical therapist, I'm always challenging my patients to struggle through, muddle through. And the same with my kids and my community.
Right.
Nothing
all better all the time, right?
Right. Nothing is easy in life. So you muddle through and you can overcome these challenges. To make a long story short, I came out of my retirement contrary to my family saying, oh, you said you were never going to do that again. We're going to now have to worry about you and who's going to crew for you. And this, I'm like, I'm fine. If I can't finish, I tried. So I was prepared with a few long runs. And as I said, I kept my training up and finished it. Now, the finish time this year was 13 hours in amongst a lot of other things because of COVID environment. We had to wear masks and buffs, and the aid stations were very limited. But I didn't quite make the mark of 13 hours. I came in at 13:05. So it was 5 minutes beyond, but that was okay. So that just, I was making all the markers, like every aid station, you have to be somewhere at a certain time, certain time, certain time, certain time. So I was maintaining that time until the last two, and it became very difficult. And I thought, well, you know, so what if I don't make it and I have to get picked up, I get picked up. It's okay. I had a great run. But beyond that, and every year, and I have so many stories with all my 11 JFKs, I always run into a really neat, cool, interesting person. And this year, I started out a run with a gal who came up here from North Carolina, 3 kids. She's a special ed teacher. We got to chat at the beginning. And then I kind of lost her at mile 20. I kept going. We had made this pact. You keep going. We'll connect at the end. If I can't make it, I'll, connect with you some way, because we kind of became very friendly. So a mile 20 or 22.
Let me just interrupt you, Beth.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a really good point, that under these arduous circumstances, when you really need each other, you connected with somebody you didn't know. And that's one of the really important, I think, inspirational and messages, but also something we can apply to our other lives. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to connect, because you can be a support, or they can be a support to you.
Absolutely. And she sure was. And we really enjoyed the last few miles, because she was up behind me and she's like, I can't do this. I said, this is where our demons get in our head. This is where we have these negative thoughts, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And we kept saying that mantra. And I'm like, you're going to finish. I said, even if we come a little bit beyond the 13, that's okay. Look at the feet. This was her first ultramarathon, so she was kind of a newbie to all this. She had done a lot of hiking on the Appalachian Trail. In fact, from her home in North Carolina, she did make it to Maryland in a hike. So that was a great feat. And we talked about that, but we carried each other through until the finish. I was a little bit ahead of her, but I know she came in about 5 or 10 minutes behind me. And by the time you finish a JFK feat, all you want to do is get in the car and go home, somehow get in a car, sit down and get back to your house. And then, but we've kept connected on Facebook, and it was a great feat, monumental feat for the both of us. So we've enjoyed it.
That's great. So that negative self-talk, I'm sure that's something that you feel proud of overcoming. It's another thing that we all experience in our life. And I love your advice, one foot in front of the other. And that applies across the board, right?
That's what it is. That's what it is. And the quote that I kind of kept in my mind from Lou Holtz is positive and mental imaging over failure. You just have to keep that goal, that end goal in mind. Right. And I liken it to, if it's a mile walk, if it's a block walk, if you get off crutches and full weight bearing, or if you want to do your first half or full marathon or an ultra marathon. It's one foot in front of the other. Of course, mental and physical preparation, nutrition, all those things that go with it. But the negative thoughts can get in the way.
Right.
A lot of times.
So the negative thoughts were one of the hard things you overcome. What was the highlight of this year's race?
I think the highlight of this year's race was running the 25 miles with my newfound friend and chatting. It was also a personal accomplishment that I, at age 63, can still physically challenge myself and get through a feat.
Mhm.
So I feel that that's accomplishment, and was able to go about my duties and my domestic chores the next day. So it's all
Beth,
good.
if you have, just a one sentence advice or suggestion or inspiration that you want to share with other women watching this, and I know it doesn't necessarily mean about running, but what would you share with people as they pursue their dreams or try to, set a goal and go after it? What would your advice be?
If you have one thing that sits in the back of your mind that you would really like to accomplish, whether it be a physical feat or a spiritual feat or a mental or some accomplishment, is don't let the negative thoughts or negative folks or interactions hinder you. Always keep your mind on that end goal. Always know you can do it. You're stronger than you think, and you can achieve that goal.
That's great. I love that. You're stronger than you think. So, Bev, I know that we're going to hope that other people respond to this and share their stories with us. But I just want to kind of recap some of the things that you just said that really meant something to me, that I think can be applied across all aspects of life for all women. And that is, don't be afraid to reach out and connect with others. When you're setting a goal, just one foot in front of the other. Don't let the negative stories come to the forefront, and you are stronger than you think. And I believe that if we keep that bit of advice, this is why I wanted you to be on today's program, because I think your experience in doing a physical challenge saw you through something that most people can't even begin to think about doing, but it's so applicable to all of us in everyday life. So thank you so much for being with us, and I appreciate your wisdom and your inspiration, and we look forward to talking with you more about this in the future.
And one last thing, if I can say, Bernadette, and you say this all the time, surround yourself with positivity, surround yourself with positive feelings, surround yourself with positive people. There's enough negativity in the world, and surely at this point in time in our world, think of the positive things and surround yourself with something positive.
Right. Be grateful for those things. That's right.
Amen. Definitely.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for Mindful
You're
Monday.
welcome.
Prime Time for Women. So happy that you're a part of our show today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Bye.